Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are having a great Friday. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and everyone that's always tuned in, thank you for coming back. Let's get started. Let's talk about this September budget. Y'all, September, of course, we know it started out bad. Bad, bad, bad. And no, I haven't filled out my calendar because the way that it's looking, it's pretty much looking the same as last month, except for, me doing extra shopping and whatnot for the cruise. I already written out everything for the monthly budget. Let's just talk about it, okay? And for the ones that haven't seen my previous video where we went over my first paycheck budget, this is what it looks like, literally. And y'all, I only have $30 left until payday, so let's see what happens. And today is Friday, payday is Wednesday. We'll see how we can possibly manage this money. I also got my refund from Torrid, so 63 or $62.52 that I can use, which came from the cruise fund. So what I may end up doing for that $62, the Capital One bill that I did the balance transfer to from Navy Federal, the minimum payment is $25. But when I did my calculations and divided everything by 12, of course it shouldn't take me 12 months to pay off $671 and some change. I may put that amount towards the bill that's due in October and just go from there. So let's talk about the budget for the month of September. So at first I was going to budget with $3,070, and I was thinking, wait a minute. Since my first paycheck was $1,320, let me make this a smaller amount. So I did $2,800. Hopefully it's more. Hopefully it's a larger amount. So we got $2,800. Let's talk about the fixed expenses. And all of my fixed expenses are pretty much always the same. And so when it comes to Netflix, the full bill for Netflix is $9, and I am doing the half payment method. I got this worksheet from Gina over at Gina's Reality. I think that's what her new page, well, not new page, I think that's what she changed her name to. And this is her monthly budget. So you pretty much write down your bills and put the amount of money from your first paycheck, second paycheck, third paycheck. But I typically only get paid bi-weekly, so I just use the second two columns for what I would take from my paycheck. So Netflix, $9. I'll take $4 from the first and $5 from the second. Cricket, $118, $59.59. YouTube, $6, 3 and 3. AT&T, $70, $35.35. Electric, I'm not really sure what that bill may be. Hopefully the bill is lower than what it was last month, which was $137, $38. So $135, $67, $68. State Farm, I wish. $261 and $130 and $131 to equal up to the amount. Now when it comes to the house payment, of course, all of the extra money minus the actual rent, which is $941 for the rent, and everything else would go into the house savings. So $610 and $611. Now when I did my first paycheck budget, which we can just go back to now, I could have had more money left if I would have took the regular payment for housing, which would have been $400 and some dollars. But it's like, what if I truly had a mortgage that was, $1,200 or whatever? what would I have done then? That's why it's like this. So we'll just keep pretending, and hopefully by next year I can, be part of the down payment assistance program and find a house somewhere that's not an arm or a whole body. Next, we have HP. So I do pay for HP Instaprint or ink. Insta ink. And that's pretty much where you pay monthly. And I'm only paying $1 and some change. And that amount monthly equal up to the cost of ink, because I did do my research and I did do calculations, so it's not a difference. And if I run out of ink, hey, they'll just send me some more at no cost, which is even better. So total fixed expenses for the month is $1,822. And from my second pay, nope, that's not right. From the first paycheck, it was $909. And I do have a typo for the $909, and I forgot to take out the $30 amount. So if we go to the calculator and do that's not right. Hold on. 909 minus, so 909 minus $30 equal $879 from the fixed expenses for the first paycheck. Okay, so clearly over here I forgot to, well, no, this is right. Over here this is right, and this is what it should have been on the first page as well. Let me fix that now. Okay, so I went back in and fixed it. So for electric, instead of me paying $68 like I probably should have, I only paid $50. So I made that correction, and now we have the total of $892. Okay, so I'm back. So I went through and calculated the second paycheck. If the second paycheck is what I think it would be, I'll go ahead and pay $68. And that's also based on what the true bill is for the month of for the next month. So the September bill has been paid. October is somewhat paid, and if you hear any snoring, that's Jasmine. She's under my desk, knocked out. When I say she's knocked out, she's knocked out. And y'all, she do sleep. Oh, look at her. Okay, so back to the budget. If we go through and pretend the first one was $912 and the second one is what it is, $913, we get a total of $1,822. And what's left next would be debt. So debt is $410. That's for the car payment. The car payment is actually a total of $406. Okay, so we talked about debt, and that $60, which I didn't truly add that in, is the amount that I want to pay to Capital One for that balance transfer. Okay, so I went through and I already subtracted the $202.52 because that came from the first paycheck when it comes to grocery. And if we were to subtract what I did for the savings, of course $21.38 is what I did from the first paycheck, and I'd assume I may have $84.10 left from the second paycheck. And also, if I go back up here and subtract, hold on. Okay, so I went back through, I got everything subtracted, and where that $200 is, I did 230, and I also subtracted the $21.38, which left me with $1,000. I wish I had $1,000 left. That's crazy. $131.10. And all of this money right here that's left over would in fact go towards the cruise, because we are leaving. Well, I'm leaving. Me and the rest of us are leaving at the end of this month, and we still have to go out of town for my mom's birthday. Yes, I will be wearing a mask. I will be taking my vitamins. I will be doing all the things. But other than that, this is what the September overall budget would look like. Hopefully there is nothing else extra. And y'all, tell me why I found a couple of rompers, jumpsuits, whatever y'all want to call them, on Amazon that was extra cute. Tell me why yesterday, and this is coming from the cruise fund, tell me why I spent a little over $300, like less than $310 on clothes mostly. I made sure I got, medicine, Benadryl, all that stuff, flushable wipes, things like that, Lysol wipes, all of those things, and, luggage tags, things like that. And hopefully, if I do need to return some, I am. But other than that, everything is updated. This is the monthly budget for the month of September. I do hope you all have a happy Friday. So you may see this video on Friday and or tomorrow on Saturday, depending on, I do want to get it posted early. So that's it. That's all. Have a great day. Thank you all for the comments. I still have to go back and finish commenting on the previous video comments. Have a great rest of your